Hey guys, this is Julian, the professional bum, owner of this channel for the Binary Lab and the Forex Lab, and I teach people the skills and the mental fitness that you need so that you can become a better trader. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about the topic of trading in the zone. Have you ever felt that you are in the zone of trading and everything is just going by so easily? Like the market is great, you're trading great, you're reading the signs and setups really early, way beforehand, and you're getting in on time, getting out on time, and you're taking every trade, in the most profitable way. All right, have ever had a time like that? You felt like you were untouchable. You felt that, like you could just keep going on forever. But unfortunately, these moments they somehow do stop for whatever reason. Okay, they do stop, and you snap out of it, and you wonder why is it that you just cannot get back into the zone again. Okay, ever felt that way? I think every trader has probably gone through this experience, and some people they have that experience in the very beginning. It's like they call it beginner's luck, and somewhere along the way, like you may be trading for some period of time, and you've had a fair share of like ups and downs, and suddenly there's like maybe there was one or even two or three consecutive times where everything was smooth and on a roll, and you felt that you're finally there. Well, maybe it could be a foreshadowing of what's to come, but what you were at that point of time is that you were in the zone. So would you like to learn how you can actually like get in the zone and remain in the zone? Okay, wouldn't that be interesting? And what is it actually about being in the zone? Okay, what is the zone really? The zone of trading and the zone of productivity are closely related. Okay, basically you are in a hypnosis productive state. So you're actually hypnotized by the markets perhaps, and you are in a very productive state. So if you ever driven a car, and sometimes you're driving and then you felt that like before you know it you're at that destination and you felt like, oh, I'm here. So it's at that moment where you arrive at your destination that you actually snap out of it. It's like, oh, I'm here. How did that come to be? Because during that period of time, you're having so much of a relaxed time and enjoyment in the driving, or maybe in the smooth, the roads were smooth, and you got there, you enjoyed it so much that you didn't even realize that you were there. Called driving hypnosis. Okay, and then sometimes you ever like find yourself in the middle of messaging or typing an email and someone's talking to you, but you're not hearing a word that they say. It's because you're kind of in the zone of doing what you're doing. In the zone of driving hypnosis, or in the zone of driving, in your messaging or texting hypnosis, and when you're trading, when you're in the zone and you're super productive, making all these trades, that's actually it's like trading hypnosis. So how do you get to in a state on demand? Would you like to be able to get that? My hands are kind of dusty, so I can't snap my fingers as well as I like to. But okay, so by the way, every day I get into a state of productivity, like a hypnotic productive state where I just focus on my work. Using a tool called Symbology. I'll put that in the video description. And what I do is that I use this tool called Symbology every day to start my day. I start my day with it, and when I use Symbology to start my day, what that actually does is that it helps me take into account of all the things I need to do, and to constantly check myself that the things I need to do for today are in line with my medium, short-term, and long-term goals. And when I do it, because I can see the big picture, I keep working towards it. Okay, so the point of me bringing this up is not because I'm trying to say, hey, go use Symbology, although I think it's a great idea that everyone watching this video should go down to the link, get the free trial, try it out, and if you find it's great, pay for it and use the upgraded feature. But what I mean to share with you is that the way to get into the trading zone, the hypnotic trading success state, is very, very similar. So in my most recent Binary Lab webinar, the one I did like literally like 12 hours ago, okay, I taught people how to get into that state. I gave people a daily routine. Actually, this routine that I've given during the webinar is like an adapted version that I have done for my Forex group, the Forex learning group. And in this routine, basically there are a series of steps that you want to go through every single day and starting your day, starting your training session with it. Because when you do it with that, the rest of it, everything will fall into place. Because when you know what you're looking for, you will find it. Ever felt that sometimes when you're going to sleep and then you're thinking, oh, if I'm sleeping this late today, it's already like 2 or 3 in the morning. I know that tomorrow morning I'm going to have zero energy when I go to work. And guess what happened? When you went to work, you felt like you had zero energy, you were a sloth at the workplace and you couldn't get anything done. That happens to me sometimes. Sometimes when a friend comes to visit from another country and I have to send kids to school next day, and I tell myself, oh sheesh, tomorrow morning if I after I send my kids to school, I'm gonna come back in and crash out on the bed, because if I do not do so, I'm gonna have no energy for the rest of the day. And what actually happens is that when I go when I come back from sending the kids to school, and I think to myself that, hey, why don't I get some work in like I would on a typical day? And try as you may, it doesn't happen. Now I want to try a little experiment. I mean, if you're wondering where am I leading with this, okay, it's about helping you to get into that training hypnotic state. And the whole point of that routine that I discussed about, which I taught to the people in my most recent Binary Lab webinar, is that this routine, right, will help you see everything up front. And when you see everything up front, you will know what to look for so that you will find it. Okay? Same thing, if you go to sleep feeling stressed, you will wake up feeling worried and stressed and frustrated the very next day. So before I guide you into this into the importance of this, okay, I just want to do a little experiment with you guys, and I mean, this is just a very simple idea. Okay, so what you do is I want you to put your palm in front of your hand. Okay, don't worry, I'm not gonna zonk you out or anything, but it's just a very simple exercise. So I want you to put your palm in front of you and just basically stare at your palm like this, okay? And then just stare at your palm. Look at the spaces in between your fingers. If you're like in a lighted place, notice that in between the the insides of your palms. Okay, if the light is shining through, you will see like some like glowing orange or red light. Okay, that's from the light that's coming from this way. Now I want you to pull the middle of these two fingers, like from here. I want you to actually pull it apart. Okay, and after you pull it apart, just a little bit, only a little bit, and I want you to start imagining as though there are like like rubber bands tied around these fingers. Either rubber bands, or not only rubber bands. Hey, not only rubber bands. There are also like a row of magnets here and here, and it's kind of like struggling to pull in closer together. With these rubber bands and the magnets. And do you notice how your fingers kind of like tremble and actually go closer to each other? Isn't that amazing? Like how that happens? When you're constantly aware of the rubber bands around your fingers, isn't it amazing how much more difficult it is to kind of hold your fingers apart, right? So okay, now just shake it off, and that's basically it. What we did there is just a small little hypnosis trick, but what I would like you to be able to, what I would like you to start doing for yourself is like, okay, in this video I talked about driving hypnosis. I talked about like how in texting we could be in this absorbed state, okay, and sometimes we have lived that state in training before. But what if we could get into that state on demand? All right, we could get into the state on demand using a routine, like I said, okay, and you can come into the Binary Lab Elite to learn that routine, which I taught on the most recent webinar. But what you can start doing today, okay, is that today I want, before you go to sleep, like I mentioned, the 5 minutes before you sleep, whatever you think is going to affect how tomorrow is. What if you could design tomorrow tonight before you sleep, in the last 5 minutes? So the last 5 minutes, I don't want you to doze off watching anime. That used to be my bad habit, okay? And it is still a bad habit. Uh, but I want you to spend, okay, you can do whatever it is, but the 5 minutes, or like for 5 minutes before you're about to sleep, I want you to go to sleep designing what a day you like tomorrow to be, in terms of your trading, in terms of the things that you want to accomplish. Visualize yourself at that point of time, picking trade setups and actually being able to um, win every single one of the trade setups that you're picking in the computer screen inside of your mind. And the whole process, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're doing, and tomorrow I want you to go out there and look out for these feelings. A very interesting thing is going to happen over the next 2 weeks when you start doing this little exercise right here. Even before you come and learn this routine, which will make you a better trader from the Binary Lab Elite. So try this out, because over the next 2 weeks, you're going to start to focus on the things that will help guide you towards your success in your trading. And you will start to focus on finding the emotions that you're seeing right tonight before you sleep in your head. Alright? If you see stress, stress is what you will manifest. If you are depressed, depression is what you will manifest. But if you visualize success and imagine the feelings of success that you possibly have, you will seek out those emotions. And when you are trading, even if you come across different emotions, okay, like maybe the market will make you feel uncertain at times, when the market will make you feel doubtful at times, the market will make you feel stressed or depressed at times, or upset that why isn't the setup coming yet. All these feelings, because these are not the feelings that you desired in that imagination that you try to create, the theater of the mind in the mind's eye for tomorrow. The moment you find these negative, deconstructive emotions surfacing in your mind, you will take the path away from it and find it elsewhere. If you have to fork off to the right, so be it. If you then have, after forking off to the right, and then you have to fork off to the left and fork off to the right again, so be it. If you have to fork off to the right and fork off to the right again, so be it. But you'll be constantly steering away from the emotions that pull you into failure, but instead constantly go in search of the emotions and the situations that give you the emotions that you will find success. Thank you everyone for watching this video and spending this time with me. I hope you tried the things that I try out. I hope you try out the things that I mentioned. And in one final thought, okay, this is just a little bit of one more tip about how this daily routine, which will be part of the Binary Lab and Forex Learning Group, there will be an app. Now I'm building on right now that you guys will soon be able to have. Okay, and this app will actually guide you through the whole daily routine. The manual way of doing it is already mentioned in the most recent webinar. Go and check it out. Join the Binary Lab Elite. And basically, like I said, I'm actually doing a price slash, and look out for my announcement for this, and just basically come into the group. Okay, like I mentioned, I have a small tip for you on how this can work. Okay, so basically, notice that every single time I talk about driving hypnosis example, I talked about the trading hypnosis example. Like, when you snapped out of that trading zone was when the conditions changed. When you snapped out of that driving hypnosis, it was when you arrived at your destination. When you snapped out of the texting hypnosis, it was when you finished your message. When you snapped out of, this rubber band thing between your hands thing, it was when I told you it's okay to shake your hands. So basically, all this involves something that I mentioned in my previous video called break state. Okay, break state happens when there is a change that you did not forecast. So this is one of the elements of the most recent exercise that I taught to my Binary Lab Elite members in yesterday's webinar. In fact, some of you may be watching this video, and I encouraged you to go over that again, because there are some things that I mentioned here that I didn't mention there as well. Okay, even though you have that routine, the routine is so important, but the thing is that you need to be able to put this into perspective, and you need to be able to use in that routine will help you to forecast all the situations you need to be able to look out for, so that tomorrow, when you start your training, even if the conditions change, you will still be on track to your goal. This is Julian Wong from the Binary Lab, and once again, I teach people the training skills and the mental fitness for you to become a better trader. Bye for now. Subscribe.